I like to listen to good music. He's mad over your BBL. I mean, did you guys talk about it before you went and got your procedure done? Oh shit, this is dead. Did you listen to Behind the Clouds? I did not, Mark. I took screenshots of all the ones you sent me, and I've been like honestly slacking, but I have screenshots of all of them, and they're in our messages, so I will listen to it. I just need to make albums, and so when I'm driving it runs through in my car, but half the time I'm on the phone if I'm in my car. I really don't listen to music unless I'm on live with you guys, to be honest, lately. And if you notice, I always play like 90s R&B. But I do need to listen to it. He told you he doesn't support fakeness. See, when I got my procedure, my procedures, I did not, like I tell you guys, I didn't get a BBL. I've always had hips and thighs, so I just got my stomach removed. My husband was not the biggest supporter when we first started talking about it. He knew I was gonna do it, and once like we had more conversations and why I wanted to do it and whatnot, I won't say he was 100% supportive with the thought of it. He supported my decision to do so. However, he was terrified. Like the day that I left to go get my surgery, my husband's not like a very emotional person, but when I hugged him and he knew I was leaving, like I felt his tears when I kissed him and like let him know it will be okay, which made me get in the car and eyeballed to the airport. But I knew I wanted to get it done for me. And at the end of the day, I wanted to be happy with me and love myself again like I once did. And I felt like I just lost myself at one point. So I did it for me more than anything else. But at the end of the day, my husband did kind of come around and start supporting it, and I embraced it. So yeah, it's hard. I do hear a lot of times, a lot of people after they get the surgery, like supposedly their partners aren't supportive, really talk bad to them. If your man is not treating you well before or after, that's a him problem, not a you problem. And you need to see those red flags and really reevaluate the situation. If he can't love you for you regardless and knowing that you're happy, then I mean, maybe it's time, honey. And I'm not a supporter of, I never tell people to leave their significant others or whatnot. But if he's not loving you, the way that you deserve to be loved, then honestly, like, is that somebody you see yourself spending the next 5 years with? You got a fatter ass. Why does he care? Yep, did me that part. You got to put you first. But I bet when he's hitting it from the back, he has no complaints, right? So, baby, put you first, and you got to make those decisions, and you got to do what works best for you at the end of the day. I'm going to keep it 100. I'm still going to be me all the time. Y'all already know. Why am I telling others what to do? You must not have been here when they asked the question. What is your love language? My love language is quality time. No, words of affirmation. Words of affirmation, quality time, and then it's not, I don't care about the gifts thing. What is the other one? I'm missing one. But first is words of affirmation, quality time. I don't care about gifts and stuff. That's not my biggest thing. What is quality time? Quality time is time, uninterrupted time. It's not just let's sit down and watch a movie. Let's have a conversation. Me and you. These things, we got to put them away, right? Like, that's quality time. When we go out to eat, let's conversate. That's quality time. I'm a very affectionate type of person, and I like affection. I just want to be told I'm pretty. I want to be told thank you. I want to be told like I appreciate you. Those are things that resonate with me and how I want to be loved. It's crazy because I don't know if a lot of you guys know, but last week my mother-in-law was in the hospital, and oh yeah, touch is the other one. My mother-in-law was in the hospital for a few days, and I went on one of the days and spent the whole day there because my husband had already had appointments, and we found out the night before and he could not cancel them in time without being charged for the dentist appointment. I mean, if it was serious enough, obviously he would have canceled it. But I told him, I'm like, go take care of what you got to take care of. I'll spend the day at the hospital until we see the doctor to find out what's going on, because we didn't really know what was 100% going on. So we were trying to understand the situation and what she was dealing with. And that night he came to me, he gave me a kiss. He's like, I just want to say thank you. I'm like, for what? He's like, for staying with mom today and making sure, he ended up coming up there right after all his appointments or whatnot. But sure enough, he came and just said thank you. The next morning I woke up on Friday. Why he make me a whole breakfast in bed? He didn't even wake me up in time for work. I was late to work. But made me breakfast in bed, my coffee and everything. What'd she say? Who paid for my surgery? Me. I saved my hard-earned money. I didn't take out of our savings accounts. I didn't do any of that. I literally saved for a whole year to prove to myself I wanted to move on with the surgery. Not that it really matters to you, but since you want to ask, I'm gonna tell you. But yes, you muted her. Guess she ain't talking back. She might still be watching. But yes. A girl, is my man mad I am a bad bitch after the surgery? He could be. I mean, I don't know your man. So, I mean, he could also be dealing with insecurities himself, and now he sees you looking your best and feeling your best, and now maybe he feels some type of way that he's not where he feels like he needs to be. Maybe. I don't know. What's up, Heather? How are you, honey? We cleaned today. We organized everything today. But sometimes men deal with their own insecurities, and they might not be as open as we are about things. So maybe it bothers them, or maybe your newfound attention isn't insecure for him. You're the same person before and after. So again, if you're getting a newfound attention that he's not used to and he doesn't like, and maybe he's dealing with some type of jealousy, that can also be an issue. But I'm no expert. I know what works for me and my husband. I mean, I will say that since I've had the surgery, my style has definitely changed because I feel more comfortable in my skin, and I'm more, what is the word I want to say? I'm more comfortable in my skin, so I'm able to wear stuff I would have never thought about wearing before. So I think like a couple of times he's tried, I don't want to say he's tried to throw shade, because it wasn't shade. He's just like, oh, that's a little short. So, and it's good to hear that from him every so often, because at the end of the day, I also don't want to be disrespectful, because he is my partner. He is my husband. He is my person, right? I want to make sure he's comfortable, but at the end of the day, like if we're on a beach and stuff, I would have never wore a two-piece before. Now, a bitch is wearing a two-piece, best believe. And a bikini and whatever else. I would not wear a thong, obviously. Some do. Absolutely, that's fine. If you are comfortable with it and your man's comfortable with it and you want to be on a beach with a thong, fine. I don't think mine would be okay with that. So at the end of the day, there's still boundaries. And I still want to respect him because, again, he is my husband. No, you should wear what you want, but I also feel like there's also a line of respect also. If he does not feel 100% comfortable with me wearing something, I also need to respect him because he's your husband. not saying I have to 100% always agree, but there's a respect line. Like, for example, he does not like if, like, I hate to wear bras. I just don't like to wear them. But he does not want my headlights showing. So I can definitely respect that, right? So I bought certain covers so they don't show. And we went through trial and error because sometimes he's like, that looks worse than you showing it, just whatever. You get what I'm saying? But at the same token, you always have to respect your man. If you are with somebody, yes, you could wear what you want. You could do what you want. And it's always open for conversation as well. 100%. Thank you. I'm not saying like act him and listen to him as if he's my father, because that's a fuck no. But I also will respect him enough to listen to what he has to say. We could agree to disagree and I'm still going to do what I want. Or we're going to agree because I could see it from his point of view. You get what I'm saying? Does that make more sense? No one's going to tell you what to wear. It's not him telling me what to wear, because he definitely does not tell me what to wear. It's more of, hey, I don't think that that's appropriate. Does that make sense? Like, if he's like, hey, I don't think that that's appropriate, why don't you think it's appropriate? Then when he says, you know, whatever that to follow, I could agree or disagree at that point. But I mean, he's fine. Like now, and I think in the beginning it was such a culture shock for him. Also, not culture. It was such a shock for him because I never showed my stomach before, right? I never wore crop tops because I was never comfortable with my body enough to do so. So I think at first it was like an adjustment, and then after he don't see anything, like he doesn't say anything, you know? But in the beginning he's like, oh, that you're wearing that? Like that's your shirt? And he would always, when he would do clothes, because you know he does the clothes, he would always mix up mine and my daughter's clothes. As a guy, what do you do if she refuses to listen? I mean, I guess it just depends on what the conversation is. It's hard to tell you because I don't know the conversation. I mean, I'm not your child, so I don't need to listen to you. There's a difference with me listening to you and respecting you. I do not need to obey anybody. But I'm also adult enough and I'm also mature enough that I can listen, hear him out, and we can agree to disagree, or we could come to a common ground. At 13, hear him out and we can agree to disagree, or we could come to a common ground. At 13, likes to pretend, what the fuck are you talking about? To pretend to step on like a giant. What are you talking about, user? You kind of sound weird. And you're blocked now. But I think like when you're in a serious relationship, hey, what's up, Woods? When you're in a marriage or a serious relationship, respect will go a long way. Because also with respect comes trust, right? You have to respect the person that you're with and love them enough to respect them. MFs don't be making sense. Who are you talking to? Me? I know you ain't calling me an MF. And you in Vegas with me? Be careful there, buddy, old pal. I'm hoping that's not towards me. I'm gonna give you a second to redeem yourself and make sure it's not towards me. 100%. If you cannot trust your significant other, you should not be with your significant other. Now, there's different types of trust. Trust them financially, trust them. There's different ways. There's different ways to respect somebody. Trust somebody. Like, are you talking about like you don't trust them financially? Like they don't make good financial decisions? Is it that you don't trust them for infidelities? Like that's a whole nother subject, right? So there's different levels and different parts of trust that comes into a relationship. There's been times in my marriage I have not trusted my husband financially, and we have to discuss it because men sometimes make dumb decisions, and so do women. Obviously, you guys know I have a shopping problem. Hello, how are you, Sean? I'm doing fabulous. So I think that there's different parts of trust, and I think that it also comes when your relationship is maturing. You don't end up dating somebody and right off the back have trust for them. Sometimes there's barriers that you have to get through, and you have to build trust within the relationship. You know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. Like, you don't just fall in love with somebody and automatically like trust them with everything you got. Relationships are 100, not 50-50 also. What do you mean 100 and 100 and not 50-50? I'm curious on that. You both have to be 100% in it. Maybe that's what you mean? I'm gonna throw this away. What else do I need to do in here, you guys? Oh, I'm gonna bring back in the... Watch the intro to the movie Casino. I've seen that movie. I don't know the intro, though. You're in Vegas? What part? This was filled with clothes before. We cleaned that off today. You guys, we made great progress today. I feel so good about my day. Hello. Like, if I'm only feeling 20%, he feels 80. He picks up the other 20 till I'm better, and vice versa. Okay, got you. And that goes the same with financials, right? Like, I don't know, and look, this might be uncommon. This might be a, what is the right word I'm looking for? Unpopular opinion, but I'm gonna keep it 100. I don't feel like, and I think that this is a very old school mentality. So just follow me for a second, okay? This is a very old school mentality. So I do not feel that I'm the burden to do everything on their own. They should not, unless that is the common and that is the what you guys have agreed upon in your relationship, in your marriage, right? But I don't feel like the man should have the burden of feeling like he has to support the entire family on his own. That is a lot to take on. I feel like if you can work, you should want to work. If you guys want to both work, you should be able to. It's only gonna help your finances, you know. It's also different. If you have multiple kids that are under the age of 5 and hey, I want to do this for the first 5 years until they all start school and it works for you guys, perfect, right? But I also feel like I always had the mentality of this, right? And me and my husband, we had our first kid at 16. I always wanted to work. It was because I saw, in my opinion and in my wanted to work. It was because I saw, in my opinion and in my community, a lot of the women were stay-at-home moms, barefooted and pregnant, always this, right? Why their men were outside, right? Thinking, I make all the money, I will give you an allowance, and I'm gonna do what I want when I want to do it, right? So in my opinion, when my husband did tell me when we were 16, 17, I will take on the burden, you know, that was his thing. I will work, I will take care of you guys, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that's not gonna work for me. I wanna work, I wanna have a conversations. And I did it for the first, my daughter was like 8 months when I first started working, when I went back to work. And I did it for multiple reasons. One, I didn't want history to repeat itself. I did not want to stay in the environment I grew up in, right? Like, I wanted to get out and I wanted our trajectory to be bright and forever rising, right? So I decided to get a job. My first job after my daughter was working at Lowe's. I was quickly just a cashier, quickly moved into the return center. I actually had a lot of fun at that job, to be honest with you. And then I moved on from there and I went to go work in the car business, and I kind of have been in the car business ever since. I've been promoted multiple times. I've had a very, very good career. Very lucky, very, very blessed and very lucky. But I worked my ass off because I don't have your degrees. I don't have what everybody else has. So I had to put time and effort, sacrifices into doing that, right? And the reason I say it is I always looked at it as, what if, right? Just what if? What if God took my husband away from me, right? Where am I going to get a job that will hire me at a decent rate to be able to support my children, right? Life insurance and all that only lasts for so long. And really nowadays you have to have a 2-household income to really make it and live comfortably, right? So I always just thought, what if the what ifs, right? What if, God forbid, he gets into something and becomes paralyzed or something like that and he can't work? Where am I going to be able to go if I don't have any type of work history, any type of degrees? You know what I mean? So for me, I wanted it because I did not want to rely on just one person and all the what ifs that came along with